Hi there, this is Sharmin. Hi there, this is Sharmin here. In this video, I'm going to talk about Gothic literature. So in this video, I'm going to cover up the key features of Gothic literature and explore the literary devices used in Gothic literature and read and analyze an excerpt from the Gothic text that is a telltale heart and use elements of a Gothic narrative to plan our own Gothic stories. Alright, so let's get started. So, what does Gothic mean? Gothic literature is a genre of writing that features dark themes, horror, or mystery, that is the supernatural. All right. All right, now I'm going to talk about the features of the telltale heart. So, number one, that is the Eerie setting. So, Eerie setting, the story mostly takes place in the victim's small, dark room, which intensifies the suspense. A well-known Gothic author is Edgar Allan Poe. He was an American author best known for his poems, short stories. Poe was a key figure in Gothic and Romanticism literary movements in America during the 19th century. His work is considered very influential, specifically his horror short stories. One of his most famous work was a short story called The Telltale Heart. All right. The Telltale Heart, the story is written in the first person narrative. The narrator explains that he's killed a man because a man's pale blue eye. For a week, our narrator watches the man as he sleeps each night and then finally kills him and hides the body under the floorboards. And he begins to hear the imaginary heartbeat of the man louder and louder and eventually admits to the crime. So, throughout the story, the narrator tries to convince the reader he is not mad. All right, now I'm going to talk about the features of the telltale heart. So, number one, that is the Eerie setting. So, Eerie setting, the story mostly takes place in the victim's small, dark room, which intensifies the suspense. Number two, mysterious character. So we don't know much about the narrator or the victim in the story, as they don't give in the physical attributes apart from the old man's eye, that is the pale blue eye. Number four, that is the sense of foreboding tension. That is the narrator goes to great lengths to describe his plan, and the story pace picks up the faster and faster. All right. Number three, that is the supernatural elements. That is the man's heartbeats are heard even after his death, haunting the narrator. Spooky by design. So there are many literary devices authors deliberately use to ensure a spooky atmosphere and uneasy feeling in Gothic text. So let's examine the literary device used in Gothic narrative and how Poe uses them in the Telltale Heart. Building tension refers to an author's ability to make readers feel what the characters feel, and in Gothic text, the feeling is usually worry, fears, or suspense. So that is the build tension to repeating certain words throughout the story. Considered what it referring to in the excerpt on the right. So what's the impact building the tension in this text? So if you see here, it grew quicker and quicker, louder and louder every instant. The old man's terror must have been extreme. It grew louder, and I say louder every moment. It grew louder and louder and louder. All right. Gothic device to that is the pace. So pace refers to the tempo and speed at the which the story unfolds. In the in this text, Poe uses pace and tempo to reveal the narrator's sanity, Compare the opening paragraph to the closing paragraph and notice the use of punctuation. If you read the story, what is the impact of pace in this text? Foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is an indication or warning of something happening in the future. Poe uses foreshadowing in the first few paragraphs by showing the narrator's insistence on his sanity. So, what is the impact of foreshadowing in this text? Onomatopoeia, that is the word that describes a sound and sounds like the sound, for example, bang. So, what is the impact of onomatopoeia in this text? So, you need to identify each paragraph. Planning a Gothic narrative. Gothic stories have a unique structure. Let's brainstorm and plan a Gothic story by first comparing the narrative structures below. So, narrative structure and Gothic narrative structure, that is, character, setting, rising action, climax, resolution. And Gothic narrative structure, that is, character, setting, tension building, climax, and ambiguous ending. So, Gothic story element number one, that is the setting. Settings in Gothic stories are crucial to establishing an airy mood and atmosphere. Gothic stories are often set in isolation at night and in the cold. For example, the Telltale Heart is set mostly at night in an old house. Characters. Characters in Gothic stories are often mysterious and intriguing. So, our narrator in the Telltale Heart behaves in an unusual and panicked manner, and there's no description of his physical attributes. It could be difficult for the reader to connect with or understand him. Tension building. So, Gothic stories are filled with typically negative tension, such as fear or pressure that increases as the story goes on. You can use these techniques to build tension in your story, pace and tempo, foreshadowing, revealing information strategically. The pace within the telltale heart gets faster as the text goes on, building tension and suspense, leading to the narrator's madness. Climax. Climax in the Gothic literature often involves the revelation of hidden secrets or the uncovering of forbidden knowledge. The climax of the Telltale Heart is when the narrator murders the man he has been talking about, preparing for the murder for the most of the story, but it's not fully revealed until this moment. Ambiguous ending, that is the most Gothic stories end with some ambiguity and leaving aspect open to the interpretation. These creates a lingering sense of mystery and unsettlement, allowing readers to contemplate what it means. The telltale heart ends with the narrator confessing to the police. It is unclear if the victim's heart was really beating or if the narrator was overwhelmed with his own guilt. Let's recap. Gothic text includes dark themes such as mystery or horror. Gothic text typically includes airy setting, mysterious characters, supernatural features, a sense of foreboding. Gothic literary device includes building tension, pace, foreshadowing, onomatopoeia. Let's get planning for your very own spooky Gothic story. So guys, that's all for today. Thank you for watching and see you soon.